Hi Pisces, welcome to your October 2025 tarot reading. Let me start by pulling 3 cards from this beautiful Salvador Dali deck. I will continue to pull cards from another deck to clarify the messages that are coming through for you during this reading. So, Pisces, you've probably just come off the back of quite an intense September. Maybe not fully on the surface intensity, it might have been more subtle, but either way, September has been a very pivotal month for the collective, but really for you as well, Pisces. We're just after coming through an eclipse season where there was an eclipse in the sign of Pisces in September. So before just diving into your October reading now, what I want to say is I have a eclipse season reading for your sign, which I'll link below. It's kind of looking at the 6-week container from late August into early October for your sign, but also focusing on what's coming through February and March of next year. You might be interested in some more content after you see this video, perhaps. Let's just jump into your October 2025 right now. I have the 10 of Cups. That's a really beautiful energy, a really fulfilled, emotionally satisfied kind of a feeling coming through in this reading. I also have the Magician. So October is an important month for you to take action on something, and the 9 of Cups to really just to enhance all of this joy and bliss and things just going well for you overall, just to keep that momentum going. So the 9 and 10 of Cups are some of the most emotionally buoyant and fulfilling energies in the whole deck. So you're riding some sort of a high at the moment. I would assume that your whole aura, your whole vibration is really just so pristine, and your everyday life, your schedule, your workflow, just the nitty gritty mundane jobs. Knight of Coins at the bottom of the deck, which is talking about the Virgo side of this eclipse season. We have the eclipses in Pisces. And as I'm recording, the Virgo eclipse has not happened yet, but it will by the time you've seen this, I'm sure. So that's much more about the mundane, whereas Pisces is much more about the metaphysical maybe, or even the divine. So you're creating some sort of a world, a reality that feels very special, magic, mystical in everyday life. It could be part of the schedule, your routines, the rituals you do on a daily basis. It could just be that things are working out really seamlessly for you at this time. And Pisces, that is reflected in your external world, but not necessarily just by chance or by luck. There has been a real kind of determination on your part, because the Magician card is here too, telling me like this is not for nothing. Like there's some substance here behind this. There's action. There's a real willpower for you to be mindful about who you're spending time with, not getting convoluted in any kind of, I guess at this time, it's hard to avoid, negativity, positivity. Like we're going to be experiencing a wide range of dark and light in our lifetime. But for whatever reason, this September into October, you're not getting mixed up in anything that feels draining for you at all. So something has been going extremely well. So for some of you, this 10 of Cups is looking like potentially even a family matter has been resolved, a dissipation of a conflict or a strife, happy families. But to me, it's like the gang's all here, your romantic partnership, if that applies, is thriving as well. You feel really valuable, or valued rather, and seen in this relationship. And really, again, with the cup, it's like on a very deep, maybe intimate or more emotional level, even a psychological level. I get the impression that you're beginning the month of October with a feeling of camaraderie, a sense of being part of some sort of a network or community that is really uplifting and supportive. The gangs all here is something I say when I look at the 10 of Cups. So I wonder, have you just had a sort of reunion of sorts? People came to see you, people came to visit you. Did you kind of get together with some people that you don't see all the time but feel really special to you? That could have taken place in September over the last couple of weeks. More cup energy, 5 of Cups and 9 of Wands. Okay, well, this looks a little bit different, but I think it's telling me about the backstory here. 9 of Wands, I also have the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Okay, Pisces, now would be a great time to hit that subscribe button and comment, like, share whenever you feel like it throughout this video. That'd be a great way to engage. I'm going to dive in, and I know I'll get, really sidetracked unless I say that here and now. Okay, so if anything, the inclusion or the visit or the reunion or the celebration that you've been a part of lately, celebrations maybe, have been in some way, I don't know if distraction is the right word to use, but they have definitely allowed you to wear rose-colored glasses, or you've been able to see through periods of maybe what's a little deeper under the surface, some sort of an emotional pain and vulnerability here, or insecurity, or potentially some sort of a preparation on an emotional level, whether it's based in like needing to be like this or not, I'm not sure, of like this idea that you've been running with around when is the other shoe going to drop. Sometimes, oftentimes, the 10 of Cups can even feel too good to be true. We spend our time in the 9 of Cups saying, if I just had this one other part of my life fulfilled, my life would be absolutely perfect. And then when we attain that perfection, well, it can't last forever, nothing does. So we really kind of hold on to the good old days, or sometimes we even stay in a situation too long, or with a person too long, or in friendships and whatnot, just because of the glimmers. And I'm not suggesting that all you're getting are glimmers. You're really part of something that is truly emotionally wonderful and celebratory. But I do think for some of you, it has been useful because it's serving a purpose of distracting you, or I guess helping you to restore faith and get through more gloomier spells in your personal life and in your relationship with yourself, I would say. Now, 5 of Cups, 9 of Wands, it's like I'm watching my back. I don't want to get my hopes up too much because I get the impression that nothing lasts forever, and you're right. But in this case, the 10 of Wands, like, we're looking forward to the end of this cycle. Where in the 10 of Cups, we're probably trying to hold on to it for longer than serves us. So we have obviously a tendency to favor pleasant, easy, harmonious situations. But I think, Pisces, some of you are using some sort of a 10 of Cups, fairy tale-like, dream-like situation, fantasy, even, as a means of escapism. Whereas some of you are, I think more often, or more of you than not probably, are just in that divine flow of being able to hold the extremely good with the difficult and sorrowful even for some, or the sad. Like, there is sadness in the world, there is grief in the world. For some of you, even in your own personal life. Now, for those of you 5 of Cups who are still in mourning over the end or the loss of something that was very important to you at one point, the 9 of Wands tells me that you probably are still busying yourself by, I guess, being more competitive, being more resilient, or even guarding yourself off. That could be coming up. I think that most likely some of you are finding it hard to just trust when things are really wonderful, because you are kind of watching over the past or watching over the harder times and assuming that that's going to catch up with you again. I think some of you are thinking, like, when is the shoe going to drop, like I said, and like, when is this all going to catch up with me? So be mindful of what maybe you're running from or trying to escape from. But like I said, I just think that for me, I feel 10 of Cups as a Pisces myself. I feel 10 of Cups sometimes when I think about hardships, when I think about what I've overcome and the perspective and the wisdom and all the inner alchemy that comes from that. And when I think about the pain and the hurt and the heartbreak that I've experienced, and I still feel a sense of connectivity or purpose, or able to make sense of that and really value those experiences, to me, they're some of the most like intense or strong periods of 10 of Cups in my life, where sometimes I'll even like be moved emotionally just thinking about all of the wonder and the highs and the lows. I think that's kind of a quintessential Pisces experience. I don't know if many other signs fully immerse themselves or get that the way we do. So let's have a look at the Magician card. This is something about October now that is a kind of must do for you. I think you really want to do it anyway. I don't think that this is going to be a burden for you at all. Let's have a look at what Pisces must do this month. What's number 1? Magician card is number 1. What's number 1 on that to-do list? Here we have your major arcana, the Moon, and the Knight of Pentacles. We've seen the Knight of Coins, aka Knight of Pentacles, in the other deck. So schedules are going to be very important. Routine, structure, monotony, you know, just kind of doing the chopping wood, the carrying water, you know, the brass taxes. And some of you are just needing to follow a more disciplined exercise, health, work, daily life regimen, and that's going to be very valuable to you, Pisces. I think this is a way you're going to really thrive in October, being more practical, being quite methodical and very grounded in your approach, taking your duties and the services that you provide very seriously. Virgo energy with the Knight of Pentacles, Pisces energy with the Moon. Full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces was on the 7th. The 21st of September will be the Virgo eclipse. We're past that now, chronologically, according to the calendar that we're accustomed to, but energetically we're not past that quite yet. It's part of a much longer storyline, so I definitely recommend, because I'm seeing these cards, checking out the video I did on what this eclipse season container means for you, Pisces. But let me say this. What was revealed to you in September, potentially around the beginning of September, about your daily habits, your routines, your boundaries, your healing. Pisces is the kind of tending to the soul. Virgo is the tending to the physical vessel, the purification and detoxification process. So what has alerted you to, what were you alerted to in September around where you are healing, purifying, releasing, just tending to what's sacred right now to you. And without sacrifice, there's no sacred. So there are sacrifices that you're willing to make in order to make your life as basically like your temple. Your body is a temple. You're feeling that at the moment. You're feeling the importance of ritual and reflection and presence. Like, what is going to make your life in just like very day-to-day simple ways, that's Virgo, more meaningful or like purposeful, I guess. And that's kind of the Pisces element, but it happens in very small ways. So I don't think that this action in October, now that I see this, is like way over the top or super direct. Nearly, it seems like it's making sure, like, oh, this person, right, the magician, I think it's Salvador Dali himself, painted himself self-portrait in this version of the magician, but they have an altar here, right? So this is about acquiring what you need to get the job done. Your workshop, your bench, your skills, your resources, whoever is going to come along to help you potentially is on that altar at this time. The moon card is saying that there is a continuation of revelation as a theme for you in your world. You've probably been dealing with a lot of revelation, and you know, these cards, the under the surface cards, or the clarifiers that I'm getting, really point to something at play here in your world, Pisces, that is more cyclical by nature. It comes and goes. That's the nature of the moon card. But when it's present, it's very, you know, consuming emotionally, physically. But it's possible that it's karmic in nature. It's also possible that it's just some sort of let's call it a chironic wound, or something that is still being broken down by you, and like trying to come to terms with something. That's still very much at play under the surface, but it's not hampering you, and it's not getting in your way of still seeing the joy, beauty, and love that's all around you. And I think that's really special. The Magician card, okay, the Magician card and the Moon card. If somebody's been more deceptive, if somebody is not who they say they are, and this is not going to be a message for everybody, see what happens in October. You know, these eclipses have so, you know, they've really revealed to us in the collective in September. Like, there's a lot of maybe of a fake energy. There's a lot of like moral posturing and virtue signaling. I think we've been noticing that. There's a lot of performative kind of aspects to how people are expressing themselves. But when we look at Virgo and Pisces, they're actually quite humble signs, particularly Virgo, of course. But the other sign, Pisces, associated with that axis is very humble too. Both of those signs are motivated first and foremostly, archetypally at least, to be in service, to provide a useful tool, or to help, to fix. So, you know, there might be kind of like a exposure lately, and I think it has come up, and we're really seeing people who are, it's very easy to just make an announcement online, or kind of get very self-righteous, and I don't know, it's just possibly that's been coming up. But I do get the impression that maybe more on a personal level for you. And I would say, if anywhere, it could be at school or work or on your course or whatever, you're seeing somebody probably in a new light. You might not be seeing them as just like shady, but what you might be seeing them as is somebody who is very afraid, somebody who has their own stuff. You're seeing a side of them that you haven't before, a side that's been hidden maybe or suppressed. Ooh, the Tower has just flung its way out of the deck here. I guess that this could come through by way of a conflict or a surprising revelation. You know, you didn't think that this person was dealing with XYZ or hiding that aspect of themselves. You just saw them, you know, dressed in their work attire every day, with their shirt pressed and their tie on, and this just seems like a normal person. Of course they're a normal person, but you know what I mean, like you weren't aware of what was going on under the surface. I think that this month a lot of you are going to be seeing a pretty stark side of somebody that you were unaware of, and for whatever reason, now's the time for you to notice that. There's a discovery element of October. So maybe that reinforces why your mission or action, or where your focus should be for you, Pisces, is just maintaining your well-being, staying grounded, staying in your routine, your flow, and seeing the sacred in the everyday, and the cooking your meals and the washing your dishes and the paying your bills, because this is an honor to you, really, to be part of this human experience. And I think you can see it like that, this month at least. Okay, so we have the 9 of Cups coming through as well. I don't know if this is going to be something just like in particular to really look forward to, or if it's an overall sense of, I'm just satisfied, you know, it's like, it's one or the other. Let's have a look at the 9 of Cups. Maybe it's both, I don't know. The Death card, and beautiful, we're ending with the 10 of Cups, the card that we started with. I love it. You're like, you know, I'm not ready to have this bubble burst. I'm going to do whatever I can to maintain the joy and the bliss and the goodwill and happiness that I'm experiencing lately. And I'm just going to do that and keep the good times rolling. So October into November, good news, pleasure, joy, could be family oriented. There's a sense of childlike wonder here with the first and last card being the 10 of Cups. There is a sense of dreams coming true. I love to see it as a Pisces, of course, and I have end of October, beginning of November is a time in my world that I'm hoping for a lot of joy and positivity, so I'm here for it. The 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. So this just tells me the good times keep rolling. So if you can remain grounded through the month of October, especially when the Moon card and the Tower card are creeping in the edges, so especially if there's any kind of anxiety or fears coming through, maybe you're more aware of others than your own, but I don't know, Pisces, you're kind of a spongy kind of soul as well. So be mindful of where the line separates you and others, and keeping your focus on the small things, the mundane. That's the Knight of Pentacles. That is going to just allow you to somehow ride this wave of whatever the Tower brings. Again, it seems like it's somebody else's drama or mess, but again, I don't know, it's showing up in your reading. So, but it allows you to not get unbarreled underneath that, but remain in a very high, again, pristine vibration, welcoming in your blessings towards October, end of October into November, welcoming in Death card, a Scorpio season, feeling incredibly blessed and triumphant, emotionally just like on a real high here. So keep me posted as to what this really just joyful and desirable kind of energy you're working with is. You maybe attain something, a goal that you have been striving towards, and for some of you it will look like relationship harmony, maybe a birth or a conception phase, maybe a long-standing emotional cycle is coming to an end, and sometimes they can be an estrangement in a family, or a not getting along with, and again, maybe it's another reunion. People are coming to visit, people are coming to see you. This is about a celebration of what's good in the world, and very much about what's good in your world, and there seems to be a lot of that. The Death card, to me, that is just showing like Again, I guess it's a cycle energy. I see the Death card here. How do I see the Death card here? I suppose I see the Death card as mainly an emotional evolution with all of these cup cards. 5 of Cups, 2 10 of Cups, 9 of Cups, the Pisces Moon card. I guess I see the Death card as a evolution of your emotional maturity, or the way you handle things, or the way you remain unfazed or unbothered. That can be Virgo energy, right? In the face of other people's messiness, complexity is probably a better word. And it's not that you're unmoved emotionally by this, but not to the point of it taking you away from your daily grind, your focus. You're like, well, I mean, you know, some things are out of your control, and maybe that's part of it. You know, you're more willing to accept that, you know, this is out of your control, and you could be actually relieved that. Okay, Pisces, I'll leave you there. Take care.